The first reactions are in from early access to Snow White, and so far, so good, weirdly enough. All of these people who got early access to premieres of Snow White are saying it's like the best thing they've ever seen. And it just kind of seems like some funny business from Disney. Perhaps they're paying for positive reviews, or they're counting on specific journalists to speak praise of this movie that it doesn't deserve in order to quiet down all of the negativity that has surrounded it for years at this point. Variety's own film reporter, Katsi Stefan, praised Rachel Zegler as a shining supernova. Here's her full tweet. Beautifully embodying the graceful, gentle nature of the OG Disney princess. This is a visual feast with show-stopping new musical numbers. And
God,
of course,
I hated the language.
Dozens of enchanting animated animals. The screenplay wisely gives its heroine newfound depth through her fervent desire to become the leader her father believed she could be, and a love story that's sweet as apple pie.
I did see a tweet before the weekend that said, props to Zegler for portraying a pacifist, anti-fascist Disney princess, and I almost threw up. And it's for that reason that Mary's going to have to bring me at knife point to this movie. I don't want an anti-fascist princess movie.
The new version of the story isn't necessarily as politically on the nose as it sounds from certain people, but it's definitely not even recognizable from what it was in the animated classic. So they described it here a little bit as a synopsis. Snow White is forced into the forest after her stepmother, the evil queen, takes control of her parents' kingdom. Snow White meets the seven dwarfs, and together they come up with a plan to win her kingdom back. Andrew Burnap also stars in the film as Snow White's newly created love interest. So this is a movie about Snow White staging a political coup.
Yes.
Thanks. That's lame. Little girls don't care about that.
No, they don't.
And they also completely just nerfed the prince. Like, they made him into a new character entirely that is hardly even relevant to the story.
I would, however, that women would be interested in a strong man staging a political coup for the good of the people.
We don't have a political coup and you just make the story.
I'm just trying to help him.
What it always was.
There is a bunch of tweets.
The dwarves, you can see the first love story in Snow White is when the dwarves fall in love with Snow White before she reunites with the prince again, you know?
Yeah.
But none of it had anything to do with retaking her kingdom and running for president. It has nothing to do with that. Literally, this is the Hillary Clintonified version of Snow White. I mean, and it just sounds boring as all hell.
Wish was the same way.
Yeah.
Wish was the same way.
Wish was honestly even worse from the sound of it. But we have another one from Matt DeGroot at Crooked Media. Despite becoming an internet punching bag, Disney's remake of Snow White is actually mostly successful. Rachel Zegler, it's like so easy to say that when like it hasn't even entered the box office yet. Rachel Zegler is an absolute star. Most of the new songs are catchy and beautifully performed, and the visual palette is sumptuous and vibrant.
Oh,
Gal Gadot had beautiful gowns.
Here
Bonus
it is right
points
under there.
Awarded for Snow White herself being a non-violent anti-fascist hero.
Can I like hate something? Is there a hate button?
I thought Elon was going to introduce dislike buttons, but that never became a thing.
No. Then somebody says under that, lol, we'll see the box office and then decide. And he says box office doesn't mean anything for how good a movie is, but okay. That's called copium, my friend.
Well, it does determine the success of a movie. We Heart Physical Media said, not a fan of Zegler or Gal Gadot, but man, this ended up being so good. I think this one is going to surprise a lot of people and do numbers. It's in my top 5 of Disney live action remakes.
Okay, here's the thing. If it's going to do numbers, it's going to have to do numbers against a poor opening weekend box office. Like, it's like there's nothing in those numbers right now that indicate that it's going to be a major success.
It's going to have really strong comeback through word of mouth.
Correct.
And people that you know in real life.
More than just word of mouth, because word of mouth will get some people, but a lot of people who are already having an aversion to it.
Well, no, it's like online, all you're going to see is the negativity, and then in real life, all you're going to hear about it is apathy.
Correct.
Or people who actually didn't even know that there was a Snow White coming out in theaters. Like, still, I talk to normies about this stuff. They have no idea that there is a Snow White movie coming out this week. They have no clue.
This was back in February.
Felix Wood said, kinda insane that this movie was the internet's punching bag for like 2 years, yet most people who have seen it say it's one of the best remakes. And then another from Bridgerton on Twitter, Rachel Zegler was born to play a princess. Her voice is unreal. Her screen presence is unmatched. This Snow White is going to be next level.
I can't comment on the music because I'm not, I don't know anything about Disney music in the past other than like The Lion King. But I do know that she can sing and that if she spends a lot of time singing in this movie, it will help it out tremendously.
Yeah, I just don't like that it's not going to sound like the songs from the previous movie at all.
Correct.
Because the previous voice actress was
actually
like an opera singer.
Shining Supernova.
Yeah, could you like be more hyperbolic?
And then some people rightly pointed out that a lot of this feels like shill material because remember, guys, the embargo does not get lifted on this movie until the 19th, the day before the first screenings. And one of the easiest ways to use it, one of the easiest things to use as an indicator as to whether a theater or whether a studio actually has faith in a movie is how early they lift the embargo on a movie. If the embargo is lifted early on, it means that they have faith that the reviews and the word of mouth will be so positive that it will actually bolster people to come out early and show up for the opening weekend, not just get good weekend showing second after the word of mouth from the opening weekend. So Nina Infinity says Variety paid reviews are coming in raving that Snow White and Rachel Zegler are amazing. Who even trusts these people anymore? I'm waiting for normie reviews. And then Jonas J. Campbell says, for many reviewers that I'm aware of, the social media embargo is 2 days away and the full embargo on the 19th. So you get a social media embargo, which allows you to offer first thoughts and then your full reviews on the 19th. I do not take a review until I see what Jeremy Johns has to say about it.
So they're trying to keep it hush-hush until the very last minute, basically. Yep.
I liked, and then this person says, I've been defending this girl for the last 5 years. I love winning. This is not winning quite yet. I will concede if the movie ends up making a ton of money, I will concede you winning. But shill responses saying that this movie is great because they got early access to it is not the same thing as winning. I refuse your premise. And then this one from Felix Wood, #Free Palestine. I wonder, it'd be funny if they were like, I hate this movie and and Rachel Zegler sucks. No, they say kind of insane that this movie, you said this one already, right? Was the internet's punching bag. Yes. I don't know if I buy that it's going to be one of their best remakes.
My prediction actually is that when we see the performance of the live action Lilo and Stitch movie, it will blow this out of the water.
Everybody knows that that's the movie that's going to make $1 billion this year.
And that's not even a Disney princess.
No.
That's just a beloved character. And from the reactions to the trailer so far, people love it. So it's just, this doesn't have as much of a chance.
Would you, I don't really buy these reactions as a good gauge as to whether the movie's going to do well or not. Would you change your mind on that? Do you think if reviews start coming in, even with the late embargo, and those reviews are generally good, do you think that helps this movie, or do you think it's too late?
People don't even listen to reviews, you know?
I mean, I don't know.
Normal people do not
I'm saying word of mouth. If word of mouth is good,
if you heard from your friend that it's a good movie, that's way different than critics on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's not necessarily even necessarily like people watch YouTube reviews. I mean, Jeremy Jahns has like 2 million subscribers and gets millions of views on all of his videos, or hundreds of thousands.
I feel like people watch those reviews to watch the reviews, not to decide whether to see a movie.
But I'm saying if even a percentage of that. So if a guy gets 500,000 views on a video, and that's the low end, right? And you say even 10% of those are people that are looking for an honest review before going to see something, that's a lot of people. Like, I don't know. I kind of tend to lean towards your premise that people watch them because it's a form of content. Yeah. Like most people who watch our reviews are, that's why I always laugh at even needing to do spoiler reviews. You have to do it because it's fair, but most of the time I imagine they're not watching it because they're actually waiting for our opinion to go see it or not. People use that sometimes, but I don't feel like most of the time that's the case. Chat, let us know. Do you actually care about using, like when we used to review things more regularly, did you use that as like a gauge on whether to go see something or not? Most of the people in our audience, at least specifically, say I'm not going to see this, so I'll just watch the review instead.
Yeah, I'm guessing most of you in the chat are not making plans to see Snow White this week. You can be curious about how other people reacted to it, but not have any intention of going to judge for yourself. And you don't want to give Disney money in the process. I get that.
I did see the Quartering had a post that said, like, if you go see the new Snow White movie, you're a terrible person.
What?
Yeah.
Was he joking?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I rolled my eyes at the hyperbole.
That's a little insane.
That is, I mean, if you take the perspective of a lot of people on the right who believe that supporting any company like this is somehow makes you complicit in evil.
It's like the people with the watermelon emoji in their username who are like, girl, you went to Starbucks. What happened to the boycott? Yeah. Like, I am not part of your movement, your agenda. Leave me alone. I am actually looking forward to watching Snow White because I love hate watching anyway. In the chat, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. In the chat, Zen Wolf Bear says movies are too expensive to not do your research. I don't watch reviews prior to the movie so as to avoid spoilers. I watch after the way I would. I watch them after the way I would review a book. So how do you do your research if you don't watch the reviews? You just trailers and.
I guess.
Press. I mean, it is expensive. It's super expensive to go to the movies today. That's why I've been enjoying going to Tuesday night movies where the tickets are $7.
Well, if going to see Snow White makes me a terrible, evil monster, I guess that's just who I am. I have to accept that.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.